to the third big conversation without wasting any more time. And let's now talk about same-sex marriage and whether it is time in our country, whether it's time in India to start having that conversation, to start moving towards legalization of same-sex marriage. Let's start with what happened when the Supreme Court gave its order decriminalizing homosexuality, the big landmark day a couple of years ago. Let's begin with what was said in that specific order. Few points that I want to pull out from that. The Supreme Court at that point has said that the LGBTQ are free to express their sexual orientation without fear that sexual acts cannot be viewed from lens of social morality, that the judiciary cannot remain oblivious to the evolving society, that LGBTQ deserve the right to privacy and the right to equality as all else do. Now, plea has been filed in the Delhi High Court seeking changes in laws to allow same-sex marriage. The government, of course, was asked for its view on it. The government will be an important party to this case. The government today in the Delhi High Court has opposed same-sex marriages, gay marriages. They say that it's not part of our law or mentioned in our constitution, and it's not part of our culture. So the plea that sought this same-sex marriage legalization, this is what it said. It said homosexuality has been decriminalized. Why shouldn't same-sex marriages now be allowed in this country? To which the government has said, well, the court decriminalized homosexuality, nothing more and nothing less, and that cannot directly be linked to same-sex marriages. The plea that has been filed says that the Hindu Marriage Act solemnizes marriage between any two Hindus. The centre says the Hindu Marriage Act refers to marriage between a man and a woman. The plea says constitutional mandate is there that allows right to marry to everyone, but the centre says the same-sex marriage does not concur with the constitutional values. The plea says absence of legal recognition of same-sex union must be looked into. The government says, well, this is against the Indian values and the Indian culture. So, how ready are we as a nation? Should we at least begin to have the legal conversation? Should the government, to begin with, change its view or hold on to these old age views that we've had for centuries together? That's the big question. Let's say good evening to Sonal Jiani, LGBTQ activist, co-founder of Umang, Shazia Ilmi, national spokesperson for the BJP, Anurag Naidu, social activist, Harish Iyer, also a gay rights activist, and Gopi Shankar Madurai, the petitioner in this specific case. Let me in fact go across to Mr. Gopi Shankar for the battle that's now going to rage on in the Delhi High Court. Why do you believe the time is now right to legalize same-sex marriages?
Hi, namaste. Actually, this is a long pending one because earlier in 2019, April, Madras, High Court, Madurai bench has interpreted the Hindu marriage law. Actually, it allowed transgender women with intersex rights to marry a heterosexual man, and the definition of bride was actually redefined by the Madras High Court. So we thought we can because a lot of cases of my friends and the community members here, they are from the Hindu community, a lot of members, and when they kind of register, they need to go through a long procedures, and the registrars are refusing registering their marriages, whereas we still have those, gender-specific sacred spaces and gender-specific rituals. Only in Hinduism we see all this. That was the reason that we want to we thought this is the right time to bring this, issue outside. This is not just about gay and lesbian people, but also about trans lesbian, trans gays, intersex people, and everybody who's outside the heterosexual setup actually.
So you're saying that the Madurai High Court has already now spoken about this and mentioned that under the Hindu Marriage Act, redefining the bride itself, paving way, which now the Delhi High Court needs to look into. Let me also ask Harish here this question. Harish, do you believe that we are ready to take the next step 2 years since homosexuality was legally decriminalized?
In fact, Tanvi, there was a nudge at the beginning itself. In the beginning, when the Section 377 verdict was out, there was a discussion in the Supreme Court itself where the center had very clearly said that this is only for LGBT rights, or only for the decriminalization and nothing else. That time itself, we had made there was a little bit of nudge that was given to wherein we could have made that judgment itself so inclusive and so far-reaching. I think what has been done, Section 377 shouldn't have been done in 2018. It should have been done in 2009 or way before that itself. Similarly, this also had to be done yesterday. And this is not about gay marriage. It is about, as Gopi rightly said, it's about consenting adults deciding to take their relationship to the next stage, because this has far-reaching responses, Tanvi. The response to a verdict which is positive, it has repercussions to who will pull the plug. It's not just about two people falling in love with each other and getting married to each other. Who will pull the plug? Who will have the decision? Who can take the decision to pull the plug if my partner is critical? Do I have the right to do that? It is about property rights. If I die tomorrow, will my partner get all the rights that I have, or do I need to take recourse of some other will or something of that kind? So it has far-reaching effects, and this is something just as adults should be left to their devices, whether they, as Section 377 says, whether you have, as long as you're having consensual sex with a fellow adult, it's absolutely fine. Whether I marry a fellow adult, it should also be absolutely fine. The state should not be deciding on whom I should marry or which kind of marriage is approved according to you, because all kinds of love and all kinds of marriages should be made legal.
Yes, and if all kinds of love is acceptable in our country, it should be acceptable in our country. If sex is something that has been given to people as a choice, their own private choice, what they do, and not for the government or the courts to really decide, then why not marriage? Anurag Naidu, the cultural argument doesn't work here for me. Because if we have decriminalized homosexuality, we've agreed that it's not about the so-called culture or what it has or what it doesn't have, historically speaking. Then how are we now using that argument when it comes to same-sex marriages?
Well, very well made, Tanvi. We've discussed this topic enough number of times, and I would, Tanvi, be very bold enough and courageous to take names. Today, I'm really disappointed by the timing of the petitioners, because this is not the time that we should be grappling upon such a topic, which is, I don't think is very significant at this point in time, that the entire country is reeling under the stress. The healthcare system is about to collapse. We need to get our acts together and do many things. And this timing really disappoints me. I really question the patriotic intention of the petitioners here, because what are we talking about? 377 has been decriminalized technically and morally. They have.
I don't even know how to react to that. Anurag, I don't even know how to react to that. You are telling me in a country where investigative agencies have been supremely obsessed with a handful of actors and their weed smoking habits. We shouldn't be giving importance to lives of people, them having the choice to decide whom they want to marry and spend the rest of their lives with. That's not important. What does that have to do with the pandemic? What does the court have to do with the pandemic right now? That's the government's job.
Let me explain it, Tanvi, and you will agree with me. because the argument that Tushar
No,
Mehta
it's a
made in the court-
ridiculous argument to begin with, Anurag.
Definitely,
I thought you
definitely,
would.
I'll tell you why.
I
Let me
frankly didn't
clarify.
expect this from you.
Tanvi, let me clarify and then you'll agree with me. The argument that Tushar Mehta made in the court is technically it is not possible for courts to change the laws at this point in time because there are a lot of other statutory provisions which are otherwise connected to it as the coherent laws which all needs to be changed because the laws clearly defines husband and wife, the entitlements of husband and wife. Then it needs a big technical shift. It needs a legislation. It is not possible at this point in time.
Yeah.
That is exactly why, as Harish mentioned.
What does that have to do with the
377 was
health
decriminalized.
department or the health ministry of this country?
I'm telling about there are more important points that we should be more focused on. This is definitely
Who
something
decides?
that can be passed.
No, I'm sorry. Apples and
sorry.
oranges cannot be
Who
compared.
decides? It
No.
it
What
my
is being
patriotic
what
right
is
to
being
marry
asked
somebody.
about? Technically, what is being asked about is a gay marriage, right to marriage under Hindu Marriage Act 1955. Definitely, these people who are really have won the contest of 377 have got a legitimate right to express their orientation. Can freely feel free to live together and live their life. Nobody's objecting to it. What am I objecting to is this point in time, the kind of discussion that we are having, and we have more important issues that we need to
No,
discuss about.
Tanvi, I would like to step in
That's
here,
the whole point
speak
of
about the
conflict.
COVID situation. Tanvi, could you? Hello?
Yes, Sonal, go ahead, please.
Right, I want to really respond to Anurag's comment about bad timing. Unfortunately, it's actually, in fact, the fact that we don't have marriage rights is what is affecting the community very adversely in the time of COVID. A majority of us are not out. We are not able to come out of the closet. And for women, especially, I work with an organization called Umang, which works with lesbian women, bisexual women, and transmasculine persons. The top issue right now is marriage pressure, okay, for the queer community. We are being forced into straight marriages. We have no way of getting out. Besides this, the transmasculine community is, suffering because we don't have essential medication for hormonal therapy. And this is what we keep getting from people like Anurag, that, this is not the right time. Because, never is it going to be a right time for these people, right? Whatever we do, we are never in the right time of history. I'm sorry, the movement has to carry on parallelly. And the fact that we don't have marriage rights, our relationships are not recognized, this is precisely why we are suffering during COVID-19. So, Mr. Anurag Basu, please do not tell me this is not the right time. In the community that I am part of, so many suicides have happened during COVID because of this precise reason. So don't tell us about right or wrong rights, and tell us about human rights violations without really understanding what are the issues of these communities.
I have better understanding of timing, ma'am. You don't have to tell me.
Fair enough.
I'm sorry. No, Anurag, you don't tell me about timing, okay? Because of COVID and the depression that the community is going through, suicides have happened, my friends have died. You have the audacity to tell me on national television that this is the wrong time. Are we waiting for more people to die?
I do, and
When is the government going to recognize us as more than individuals who are interested in sex? Give us our basic rights. Give us the right to marriage. Give us the right to live. Give us the right to non-discrimination. Give us
It doesn't hurt you,
all of this.
Madam,
I don't agree with you, Mr. Anurag. If LGBT community's lives don't matter to you, I'm really sorry.
Please, let's all calm down. I can understand Sonal's, emotional outburst right now. Very, very legitimate, on the point that Anurag has made. Anurag and Sonal, let's just hear each other out. I will give chance to everybody to speak, not the debate where we want to yell. And Shazia hasn't got a chance to speak yet, so let's go across to her as well for her views. Shazia, for the government to say it's against the culture and law. Yeah.
So, yes, the government counsel, Mr. Tushar, said that. But I would like to say 2-3 things here. They all are very important. I would like to concur with what Gopi had to say, because there is a judgment from Madurai bench of the Madras High Court, where a trans woman actually was allowed to get married to a Dalit heterosexual man. So there is precedence there. There is an older precedent of the Gurgaon High Court also, where a lesbian couple actually opted to get their marriage legitimized. They were facing a lot of pressure. But going back to what Sonal said, that there is never a good time, I would like to tell her, and that was really heartwarming, that 2 years back, it was Justice Indu Kapoor who actually, when the judgment was being pronounced, reached out to the Rainbow Spectrum and said, "We owe you an apology." So, my friends, I would like to tell all of you that please don't lose heart. Yes, it's happened too late, but the judiciary did come to your rescue. It should have been done earlier. And because there are precedents there, and because even the last time, the government and this government council also has to take the official position of the government, which he stated very carefully. I think it would go same way as last time, where the government of India and the party per se clear legal position on this case was that let the judgment be decided on the basis of the conscience and wisdom of the five-member bench. So I would hope the same would happen. And just as last time, I'm not saying my government, it's our government, but my party had absolute clear and unambiguous reply to the court saying that we trust the wisdom and the sense of justice of the judiciary and the bench that is presiding over the matter. The PIL has just been filed. I'll tell you who those petitioners are. One of them is Abhijit Iyer, a very dear friend of mine. Gopi sitting right here. Urvasa, if you see the kind of work they've done, you realize that they're extremely responsible, brilliant people. And if not being allowed to marry interferes with the basic right to live their life with dignity, with integrity, and allowing all laws that every Indian citizen has access to, not to have access to them, then indeed it would be a case of discrimination. Mr. Naidu talked about COVID. Now, let me tell Mr. Naidu, imagine in COVID, if somebody from LGBT community were to be taken to the hospital, was seeking a serious condition, who would be the next of kith or kin to sign if there was indeed a live-in couple? Of any member of the rainbow spectrum, would that not be valid? So it is valid, and what is important or priority for you need not be a priority for me and otherwise. Do you know this is a very important issue for a whole lot of my friends? So let them fight it out in the court. The government council has said that this is not how it's been, and yes, this is not how it's been. This is not how Hindu Marriage Act sees it.
So
I
let
agree,
me.
but a lot of I agree.
Yes,
But
okay,
let the government
so
take a final decision and let it come to the constitutional bench and let there be a decision. There have been so many land breaking
okay.
judgments that have come through. So I would also trust the wisdom
So Shazia,
of
let
the
me
bench.
just say this and ask you a follow up. Okay, let me just ask you a follow up question. This is what the Solicitor General, the government council said in court. These marriages run contrary to the provisions which are in place in our society. Our values do not recognize a marriage which is sacrosanct between two people, of different sex. Now, they don't recognize the marriage between two people of same sex.
I know
The
all
court
of
may
that. I've
bear
read
in
it all,
mind
yes.
that Supreme Court only decriminalized homosexuality. Yes, I'm just reading it out for our viewers' benefit as well. The court may bear in mind the Supreme Court only decriminalized homosexuality, nothing more or nothing less. Now, I understand the point that you're making, that he is also speaking about the existing laws and what's existing in the constitution and the
Yes,
existing constitutional values per se,
yes,
which is debatable.
yes,
But why
yes.
it's very, very simple, Shazia. The sentiment that you here are putting up so passionately, all that the Solicitor General on behalf of the government, all that the government had to tell the Supreme Court today is that yes, we agree, lots of changes will have to be made because currently it's not possible, but let's go ahead and do that.
Well, it was my
Can I
government and it was our government and my party 2 years back, which clearly wrote and said that there is no issue whatsoever with what the five-member constitutional bench will the verdict they will come up with. And they also said that the final answer or resolution of this long-standing struggle lies within the sanctum and the domain of the expertise and wisdom of our judges. So a lot of changes have happened. I mean, if you see in India
Okay.
a few years back, could you imagine a live-in partner getting the same rights as that of a wife? But she does now, does she not? Now, these were not there. They were so these are unprecedented
Yes.
verdicts that have come through. So I would like to look at
Correct,
that, and
correct.
I
I
feel
completely agree with you. Yes. Yes, although I would hope, and irrespective of who it is in power, because I think this is a big politically sensitive issue, which is why governments don't do it. But I hope the governments, yours and maybe the earlier ones, are actually done it by themselves without having to wait for the courts to step in at every single step. And there are several more issues like this where changes in our existing laws must be made, irrespective of whether we are in a pandemic situation or not. Gopi wanted to make a point. Go ahead, please.
Actually, what we heard is that Tushar Mehta is completely unaware of the Madurai High Court judgment, and as well as whatever he said, it is not from the stance of the central government, we believe, because we are still waiting for the official response or the stance from the central government in coming weeks, because the case has been adjourned, not dismissed, but accepted and adjourned to October 31st. And what we are expecting is that those who registered and those who faced any kind of harassment while registering their marriages, see, we are first of all practicing, I'm all this group of people are like, they are atheist or theist Hindus or like Charvaka, Shaiva, Vaishnava, Shakta in different traditions. And we want our relationships to be acknowledged in Hindu marriage ceremony. And so far, past 30 to 40 years, a lot of same-sex weddings or queer weddings, were solemnized in many, many, many temples. They were not registered, basically, including like Ruth Vanitas or many, many. I can quote the very first gay marriage took place in Chidambaram in 1971 for two Australian Hindu couples, for which the Chidambaram priest performed the rituals, actually. But these people are stating that they cannot solemnize or allow same-sex wedding under Hindu marriage law because they are defining their own Hinduism and they don't want to talk about Hinduism, which is not part of the Shastras. We are following a very kind of indigenous, non-agamic traditions. For example, we have the Kutandava temple in Chennai. Every year, Lord Krishna gets married to Lord Arjuna's son. Arjuna's son get married to Lord Krishna, and we see at least 40,000-50,000 transgender people gather there. People from gender diverse community gather there to celebrate it. It is happening for thousands of years, and the judges are not aware of it. People are not aware of it. They cannot call it as, oh, this is not part of Hinduism because we are not aware of it like that. Like this, throughout India, we have many indigenous traditions which accommodates, diverse LGBTI communities as part of the tradition. But what makes the court or the particular, the Solicitor General to think that this is a kind of anti-Hindu move, or it will completely break the social stratification of a family as an institution? Yeah.
I have been working.
Okay, that's a very important point that both you and Shazia have spoken on.
Gopi, he's so brilliant, and I've been working. Been working with Gopi and following up all that has been done by Abhijit, by Gopi, and others. So they really have a solid point in place. And anything today, the old order must change and yield place to new. And there cannot be any discrimination on the basis of gender. That is the heart of our constitution, you see. And so a person's sexual preference cannot decide for him or her or it or them as to where they want to, how they want to lead their lives, and what kind of partners they will be, and whether they should get legitimacy in matrimony or not. I think that would seem a little not a little.
No, Shazia, if I may just come in here.
Shazia, I just want to just pitch in.
If I may just come in here, this was very interesting what you are saying today, And what Gopi is also clarifying about what happened in court, that this is not the final or the official position yet of the government in the court. We need to hear from what the government finally submits. It has happened in the past with the Solicitor General, who has so many cases to track, that he's not been updated on all aspects of a specific case, which perhaps could be what has happened now. So that's actually a positive bit of information that's coming in here. Let's wait and watch what happens there. Sonal, yes, you wanted to make a point, and then Anurag and Harish. Go ahead.
So, I mean, it's very refreshing to hear you, Shazia, but actually we are not seeing that your stance reflect in the court or reflect in the parliament, right? In February 2020, the Union Minister Ravi Shankar, when he was asked the opinion on legal marriages, and he was told categorically that there's no proposal to legalize same-sex marriage. And when the Section 377 judgment was also being discussed, in fact, Tushar Mehta actually said that, we are okay in the decriminalization, but other things like marriage rights should be a separate matter. So this stance is really confusing for us, right? Because we are not, while you're saying you're not against it, you're not proactively supporting, you're not on our side when it's coming to this, fight for our legal rights.
No, I don't know what more you want than what I've said today on the show. I don't know what more do you expect. But let me remind you that exactly 2 years back, it was the same law minister, Sri Ravi Shankar Prasad ji, who wrote an official note, and that was the government's answer to the Supreme Court when asked for an opinion which was different from all the answers ever given by the previous governments on the same law. And so it has been a most progressive I feel so hopeful and proud of the fact that instead of the politicians deciding as to what should be done with the community, it is the wisdom of the courts. It is the sense of justice of the courts and the constitutional bench, out of which one, as I told you, Induji actually said we owe you all an apology. And they also said, and if you see the wordings, they are indeed very, very rousing. So I think you should not be despondent, and let's see what happens on October 31st.
Right. No, Shazia, all we want is an unambiguous, unequivocal.
Yes, Anurag wanted to make a point.
Well, Tanvi, I just have quickly to make 2 points. One is for Gopi and one is for Shazia. Gopi obviously is more learned in terms of his literature study and about he's taking examples of Hinduism and some places where Lord Krishna gets married as an annual affair with the son of Lord Arjuna, and that's how it is. And obviously Hindu culture, as I know, as a basic, does not believe in the fundamental philosophy of God. It believes in the deity, and every deity or every deity in a temple can have a different nature. And obviously a set of people who are worshipping can form a different denomination in themselves. So if Gopi is really hinting at generalizing it based on that one particular example, then I'm really concerned about it. And second, to Shazia, and Shazia has been really brilliant today in her arguments, unlike some of the other spokespersons that I've known, and I really appreciate that. But one point that I really don't agree with Shazia is she took an example of somebody running into an hospital out of a COVID emergency and not having a partner is really becoming an impediment for them for getting the treatment. That is definitely not the case. We can really go and self-declare, and obviously that argument runs contrary to a lot of single women out there in India and a lot of single men who are self-dependent. They really don't need somebody's support to go and get admitted into hospital. Our systems are well equipped to take care of that. And apart from that, obviously most of the arguments that Shazia made is I think I totally agree with it. But obviously let's wait till October 31st and things will be clear.
Well, you know, I mean, if you don't know, let me just point it out to you.
My brief contention with that is that I was just trying to connect. When you said pandemic should be given more priority, then this I was trying to make connections.
Correct.
Because this happens.
Correct.
This is all I was doing. But Gopi has written a piece about.
I mean, it's at the end of the day, an individual having somebody by their side and having that person, Shazia, at the end of the day, having somebody by our side legitimately, legally so, in good times and in bad times. And if you're allowed, a part of your identity has been legalized, why not the rest of it? In fact, Harish, I've been wanting to raise this point, and I want your help in making our viewers understand why this is important. for us to go to the next step and say, now let's legalize same-sex marriages as well. How does it change the life of the LGBTQ community? You know, the recognition at various aspects in various parts of their lives that they get via this one change.
You know, just as Gopi said, gay marriages, whether you have legal sanction or not, they are happening. You know, marriages between couples are happening irrespective of their gender or their sexuality. Marriages are happening. But a legal sanction would also mean that people will get other rights. Like, for instance, if I am with my partner and if I want that all my property after I die goes to my partner, it gets much easier when you remove wife and you make it a partner, right? It gets much easier if I'm dying in a hospital, and if there is somebody who needs to pull the plug, who needs to take the decision of pulling the plug, and they don't look for my wife, but they look for my partner. You know, all that is needed is remove the word husband and wife and replace it with partner. And whoever is an adult and whoever you have a legal legal contract of marriage, or whether it is through the Hindu Marriage Act or whether it's through anything else, I think that makes life much easier for that person. And another thing, Tanvi, that I want to say is there is this constant need by political parties to always say that, you know what, this Section 377 or whatever is happening in the rights domain of whether Section 377 being read down or this, it is so to say that this all is happening because of some government. It is not happening because of any government. This is because of the judiciary that things have happened. Because if it had to happen in the government was in majority when Shashi Tharoor came up with the bill, or somebody else from BJP could have brought a bill, and it could have been done in the parliament itself. It didn't happen in the parliament. It happened in the courts because the parliaments failed. All governments failed us. The Congress failed us. The BJP failed us.
Right.
It happened despite the government,
yes,
not because of the government.
Well, let's just say this very simply put, and I'm not going to mince my words. Many in the government now or earlier may have believed this is the right thing to do, but did not have the courage to politically take this stand because they don't believe this is going to go down well with their vote bank. The larger vote bank may get offended or upset, and politically it may not work. So let's do it in this way, where the courts take the onus, where the courts take this decision, and we just silently go along with it and keep everybody happy. I think it's disappointing. The governments should also think about this extremely large community that exists, survives and thrives in our country, legitimately very much part of us and our lives. And constitutionally, they have the right as much as any of us do to choose their own partner, irrespective of caste, color, creed, religion, or gender. Thank you so much to all of our panelists for joining us. Viewers, the conversation has begun, and I'm very glad the conversation has begun, even if it has been because of Gopi and Abhijit and others who've gone back to the court to say, well, let's now take a look at this. But the time for next step is here. 2 years since the Supreme Court decriminalized homosexuality. I think it is time for us to even get rid of the barriers when it comes to defining a husband and a wife, or defining who is allowed to be in a marriage. Let that be up to the individuals to decide. Thank you so much for joining us on this conversation.